Hi, Rocco Beatrice, Managing Director for State Street Partners. Today I want to talk about business structures. Often I'm asked, Joe and I want to go into business, so I have an idea, or what kind of business structure should I have? I was told that the partnership is the best way that I should go. Well, a general partnership, let me describe it to you. General partnerships, you and I decide to go into business. There is no formal structure. The problem with that is that anything that I do, you do. Therefore, if I somehow cause an accident, let's say, I don't have any money, but you have a lot of money. So a general partnership is the worst way to do business. You know what the second one is? Second one is doing it as a individual proprietor. That is the second. A lot of the financial planners, lawyers like to have a limited partnership where you have a general partner and you have a limited part. The general partner, he may have 1 or 2%. Usually a mother and a father decide to become the general partners, and other children become limited partners, or a number of other investors are limited partners. The problem with that kind of situation in partnerships is that the general partner, if he's sued and they're able to get the general partnership interest, because a general partnership interest is a personal asset, it's something that you own in your personal name as a general partner of this company. So if they get your general partnership interest, you just lost everything that there is in the general partnership. Often, they like to call these things family limited partnerships. Well, family limited partnership is no different than a general limited partnership, except that the family members, or rather the partners, are of the same family or blood related, thus they call family. But there really is no family anywhere in the law. Next would be the limited liability company. Well, that's become in vogue lately. It is a good device. The problem is that you have single members. Single member, the individual deciding to go into business forms a limited liability company either in their state or Delaware or one of the other states. All 50 states have limited liability companies. The problem with a limited liability company, single member, is that there's no one there to protect, and usually becomes the alter ego of the individual single member. Multiple members, well, there's more protection because there's people there to protect. Now, let's talk a little bit about C corporations. That's a regular corporation with established because of the limited liability that is afforded to a corporation. The problem is the taxation of that is that the corporation pays a tax and then distributes out a dividend. Some of those can be voided with an election, an income tax election called Sub S. The Sub S election is a regular corporation for which the person decides to be taxed as an individual. If he is, again, the problem here, if he again is the single member or the single shareholder, it's a personal asset in his hands. It's like owning 100 shares of General Motors. So when you go in front of a judge, you have two options. He either tells you to sell the shares or give you the shares to the creditor. So that affords no protection. Finally, then, the only thing that I have found that works as a legal entity is an irrevocable trust with an independent trustee that capitalizes a limited liability company. The LLC issues K-1s to the trust, then the trust issues a K-1 and it goes on your personal return. It doesn't go direct, so it creates a layer of protection. It's pretty hard to break because you're not an owner, you become an employee officer. The LLC, when it's owned by an irrevocable trust, is about the best asset protection you can get short of having to go offshore. So when they ask me, what is the best way to go into business? First I ask about, well, what kind of limit, what kind of risk exposure do you plan to have? And what assets do you personally own? So if you own personal assets like a house, bank accounts, etc., and you want to go into business and you have a kind of business that could become very risky, how do you segregate yourself from going out and doing business every day? I mean, do you know how many laws you break in an average day that you don't even know? Because there are people out there looking to see how they can potentially sue you. In business, we all go out there try to make, a living, but we don't know when we cross the line. So the difficulty there is that if you don't insulate yourself, then you've exposed all your personal assets in view of what you presently have. Business entities, best way, irrevocable trust, independent trustee, sets up a limited liability company. You become the employee of the LLC, not an owner. That is the distinction. Thank you. This is Rocco Beatrice.